The countryside along the Thai-Cambodian border is ground zero for the emergence of drug-resistant malaria. Massive mobilization of resources over the past few years has resulted in a reduction in deaths from malaria by 78% between 2000 and 2010. However, the deadly parasites continue to plague the region and demand a sustained effort to contain the disease.
នាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះឈីវខៀជាអ្នកស្ម័គ្រចិត្តព្យាបាលជំងឺគ្រុនចាញ់នៅក្នុងភូមិអូរណូងឃុំតតោកសុកសំឡូតខេត្តបាត់ដំបងដែលជាតំបន់ដាច់ស្រយាលនាងខ្ញុំបានទទួលការបណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលពីមជ្ឈមណ្ឌលជាតិប្រយុទ្ធនឹងជំងឺគ្រុនចាញ់ក្រោមគម្រោងទប់ស្កាត់ភាពស៊ាំនៃមេរោគគ្រុនចាញ់តាមរយៈការសហការជាមួយអង្គការ URC ជារៀងរាល់ថ្ងៃនាងខ្ញុំបានធ្វើការពិនិត្យឈាមរបស់អ្នកភូមិនៅពេលដែលគាត់សង្ស័យថាមានជំងឺគ្រុនចាញ់ក្រោយពីឃើញថាអ្នកភូមិណាម្នាក់មានមេរោគគ្រុនចាញ់ប្រភេទ Falciparum លើ Deep Stick នាងខ្ញុំបានធ្វើកញ្ចក់ឈាមគាត់ម្ដងទៀតដើម្បីផ្ញើទៅមណ្ឌលសុខភាពធ្វើការត្រួតពិនិត្យចាបងឈ្មោះអ្វីដែរសនមកចាសនមកហើយអាយុប្រហែលដែរបងអាយុ21ចាហើយទម្ងន់ដែលបោកបានទៅប្រហែល15គីឡូចា15គីឡូ
By the time the Khmer Rouge were defeated in 1979, little of Cambodia's health system remained intact. Much of the infrastructure had been destroyed, and fewer than 50 doctors remained in the country. Despite the peace accords signed in Paris in 1991, Khmer Rouge activity persisted until 1997, and unmapped minefields and poor infrastructure dramatically limited the districts that could be assisted. Worldwide, each year malaria infects more than 200 million people. Of these, nearly 800,000 people die from this infection. The border region between Cambodia and Thailand has proven to be an ideal breeding ground for the mosquitoes which transmit this deadly malaria parasite. Resistance to anti-malarial medicines first emerged in this region with the loss of efficacy of chloroquine in the 1950s, followed by subsequent resistance to mefloquine, important medicines used in malaria control programs worldwide. Artemisinins, compounds extracted from a traditional Chinese herb, have proven to be the most efficacious drug against malaria. However, recent evidence from the Thai-Cambodian border suggests that these powerful artemisinins could be losing their effectiveness in treating malaria. The impact of this discovery is huge, similar to the discovery of so-called superbugs that are resistant to multiple antibiotics.
The problem of resistance to artemisinins emerged in 2008 in a report that was published eventually in 2009 that showed that the artemisinins were taking longer to act, longer to kill the malaria parasite, Plasmodium falciparum. And this is cause of great concern because the artemisinins are actually at the heart of our most powerful weapon to treat malaria. Those are known as artemisinin-based combination therapies, or ACTs. And so there was great concern that with a lengthening time to clear these parasites, that this was the first step in what might be resistance to these compounds and therefore a potential threat to the use of these ACTs. And so it was decided very quickly that this really was a public health urgency.
Drug-resistant parasites have been evolving over several decades now. And in particular in the Pailin area of Cambodia, we have scientific evidence that the parasites that became drug-resistant in Pailin in Cambodia eventually moved all the way to Africa.
The traditional path of spread of drug resistance in the past to chloroquine and to sulfadoxine pyrimethamine in Plasmodium falciparum was to move westward, to cross over Thailand, through Myanmar into India and then into the African continent. And so the nightmare scenario of a global pandemic of artemisinin resistance with accompanying increase in morbidity and mortality is obviously what we must stop at all costs.
So we were really concerned by the issue because artemisinin is used especially in Africa with other drugs. There are a lot of investment especially in Africa where the burden is the highest, with the Global Fund investing billions to buy and to make that ACTs, artemisinin-based combinations, available in the African continent. So doing nothing here basically was to let a door open to resistance in Africa.
And very luckily, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation stepped forward. They were active in the region anyway through other projects, but they recognize this is an issue.
We are supporting activities related to the containment of artemisinin resistance in this region, and we're supporting activities directly related to try to contain that on the Thai-Cambodian border, and then more broadly looking at the region.
We got the money in November at least 2008, and we start the project, at least on paper, 1st January 2009. And at least in the field, we started to see something in the field from March, April 2009.
So everyone knew that this was an extraordinary situation with potential global public health consequences, and we had to move quickly. So essentially, within about a span of generally less than a year, a strategy was developed for what to do, and funding was secured, and basically a project was begun.
The drive to Unanung village in western Cambodia's Tasan district in Battambang province is not for the faint-hearted. The 45-degree inclines and precipitous drop-offs on the dirt track certainly call for skilled maneuvering of the four-wheel drive. Only a few years ago, there was no road leading into this area. People living in the forested region were vulnerable to malaria infection, and the morbidity and mortality was high. Unanung village lies on the fringe of the forests at the foothills just below the Cardamom Mountains. In this old village, the villagers farm the land in forest clearings. During annual cultivation and harvesting, villagers sleep in temporary shelters in the forest clearings. The proximity of agricultural workers to the forests is a risk factor for contracting malaria.
Rui hai niênខ្ញុំបានឲ្យគាត់លេបថ្នាំគ្រុនចាញ់នៅចំពោះមុខនាងខ្ញុំតែម្ដងនៅថ្ងៃបន្ទាប់គឺជាថ្ងៃទី2ទី3នាងខ្ញុំបានទៅរកគាត់ដល់ផ្ទះដើម្បីផ្ដល់ថ្នាំឲ្យគាត់លេបម្ដងទៀតហើយឲ្យគាត់លេបនៅចំពោះមុខនាងខ្ញុំដដែលបងមានចក្រាអីមិនទេបាននៅស្រាលលើក្រែ នៅថ្ងៃទី4មានន័យថា72ម៉ោងក្រោយការលេបថ្នាំលើកទី1នាងខ្ញុំបានធ្វើកញ្ចក់ឈាមម្ដងទៀតដើម្បីពិនិត្យរោគឃើញមេរោគគ្រុនចាញ់នៅក្នុងឈាមតើអស់ឬនៅរួចហើយនាងខ្ញុំបានយកកញ្ចក់ឈាមจากថ្ងៃទី1និងទី3ព្រមទាំង dipstick និងឯកសារទៅកម្មមណ្ឌលសុខភាព
Phương chọn chế mẹ đồng bay chú tâm đô sọc phiêu đồng bay chẳng đăng thà ta là tập hò hai thì buôn với chấm biết rư có ọt hay mà sân cây kho mà nó biết hai với chấm biết nhưng mà phương cạp xịa bà bong tỏ tiệt đồng bay bỏ bàn chia sát bời.
In Cambodia, the Malaria Containment Project has trained roughly 2,900 volunteer village malaria workers, or VMWs. The project has also trained 326 VMWs in Thailand. VMWs are fully trained and equipped to diagnose and treat malaria in the village using rapid diagnostic tests and dispensing the appropriate medicines for free.
VMWs are almost like heroes, I think. This is the case because if someone lives in a village, in a remote area in Cambodia, it's easier for someone in the community to treat the person, find out if he's ill and have a dipstick test and be treated with a proper mandated and technically correct dose of antimalarials to get them well. it's a good tool because it reaches through the communities very effectively. And it's a good outlet for other services such as information education and giving out bed nets, for example, and organizing things such as FSAT and day 3 positive surveillance.
You may know that when people get sick, they go to where it's close to them. But our health center not necessarily close. So the way we use community health worker who are living or working close to them. And we train them about the simple technology, and we supply with simple medicine. Then ask them to have early diagnostic and prompt treatment at the place where people are living.
Tại sao cô vâng đâu mình kết bị ca múc kham hay và giặt chẳng mấy ca bê áo ấy cứ còn miền thì bà chân dương ca và giặt nắng mình trâm tại dương nấu tia sầm bay dương thì xong bay đại dương ro pra chùm nô nắng cứ ro nô pe dục dương đa chạp cả đô tam chùm ca phố đó nè chân ca chạp cả đô nắng múc của chạp dương vịnh đại và chẳng cả na múc chạp dương nắng từ dương nâng cao mây rốt chùm ngư cồn chán hơi bà chẳng dương pe áo đại về dương trâu lung mục pe sầu đại rồi là nó pe là dương châu prey bố đó nè bà thứ mấy còn ôi mục hàm dương bán từ dương cà phê luôn dương bà ta mà nuôi đàn nghi rong cua chiên kế chia mà nuôi một thêm na đó và rong luôn đừng người xuống trái.
This is normally they organize on a regular basis. They move from one village to another, and they're gathering the people in the village, that including also the children, that which is very important.